go live. Going live, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Andy, Dennis, JDA? Shout out to JDA being a member in the chat. Show them what the emojis look like. Hopefully everybody's doing good today. I told you that this live stream was coming, and it's here. I thought it'd be really fun for us to kind of just all talk about what we do for money, for a living. And yeah, so that's what's going on. Maybe we'll pull up some Instagram stuff. If people tag me on Instagram, maybe I'll pull up some stuff because we have that ability over here. And yeah, so we're going to let some people get in here. Look at that. Look at those emojis. I don't even know how to use that. Oh, I do know how. Look, it's my hair. That's one thing that being a member gives you. Shout out to JDA for being a member. Oh, man. Did anybody ride today? First question. Second question. What's up, Kevlar? 20 Grip, also a member in the chat. What's up, man? How is California? I just found out today that I'm coming to California in 2 weeks. It's happening. Yo, 10 months already. Hot dang. I have no idea how you did that, but that is sick. 10 months. What's up, Polling BMX? Jordan, I would never expect you to be in here. That's pretty sick. How's it going? How's your injury? You feeling better? Little bugs. I have no idea what that dude with the controller things. Rode curbs for 2 hours. Hell yeah. I didn't ride today because today was freaking 50 degrees and rainy and gross. And tomorrow's going to be warmer, so I'm going to go ride tomorrow. Coming to the 9th jam. I think so. There's one thing that might keep me from being there, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially now that I'm going to California on 2 weeks from today. So the point of today's stream was to talk about what we do for a living. So I'm going to go first. First of all, I've got a YouTube channel. You guys kind of know that by now. Post videos on it every single day. But YouTube does not make me enough money to cover all of my monthly bills or expenses. So I also have 2 other things that I do. First of all, I write some descriptions for a BMX website that is in process right now. I don't believe that it's live yet, but Kevin Zuba, I'm excited to have Kevin talk about what he does, because he has something he just recently started where I'm going to Woodward West in 2 weeks. So I write descriptions for that, write descriptions about frames and videos and parts and other things like that. Dang! Kier, joining the 20% crew insane platinum membership. I guess I should throw that in here. I'm driving to go look at a house. Interesting. New member. And we'll throw 20 Grip in here. 10 months membership. 20 Grip. 10-month member. Boom. Sick. Throw that up on the screen. So yeah, I write the descriptions. And then I also have a part-time job at a small farm tractor manufacturing company. Yeah, no riding today. Too freaking cold is right. We're gonna ride Millersburg tomorrow. But work for this small farm tractor manufacturing company. They make a tractor that you use for farming, clearly. So the story behind that is so originally I worked for a company called Ventrac, And I don't know, some of you probably have heard of Ventrac. They're articulating tractor that a lot of people use for commercial mowing, bush hogging. That's a nickname for it. All kinds of different uses for this thing. It's got all these different attachments. I worked editing videos for them, worked on their YouTube channel. Well, Ventrac and the family that started Ventrac owned a company called Tillmore. They're starting a company called Tillmore at the time. And Ventrac, they decided to sell Ventrac to Toro. And when Toro bought Ventrac, they didn't want Tillmore. So they had to split off. And in that split, the guys that were going with Tillmore asked me if I wanted to be their media person there. So I do that part-time Tuesday through Thursday. So I was there today. We posted a video today, filmed a video today, filmed a couple videos today. And yeah, that's my part-time gig for Tuesday through Thursday. Mondays and Fridays totally were dedicated to the YouTube channel and BMX news and potentially whatever else I need to do. But yeah, that is what I do for a living, aside from the YouTube channel. Now, I'm excited to hear what other people do, but I don't want everyone to say in the chat at one time because that'll make it boring, or that'll make it go too quickly. We gotta make this last a little bit longer here. So first of all, let's get the members in the chat saying what they do for a living. JDA, 20 grip, Kier. I think that's everybody. I want to hear, oh, can I make it members only chat for that? That'd be sick. I don't want to cut everybody out yet. We don't have enough people in the chat to do members only chat yet. But I'm curious to hear what you guys, and then we'll get into everybody else after that, because I want to kind of keep it gradual so we don't have everybody in there and then I got to scroll up and make it a little more complicated. Of course, Kevin Jackson would be the guy who doesn't listen and says his before anybody else can. Boom, 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 boom. Didn't ride, but helped with. I design trusses. So what goes into designing trusses? I guess actually here's the website of the small farm tractor company. So there's a thumbnail for a video that we put up. Lots of good stuff on here if you want to check it out and see some of the videos that I've made. But designing trusses, what exactly does that mean? Truss. Truss builder. I like Kier's answer. I can't wait to get to that. What is a truss builder? Let's go to images. So these are what trusses are, I assume. Go Kevin called out from here. Roof and for trusses. It's interesting. Yeah, like what do you design for them? It's an interesting job. Like you're designing how much they can withstand, how much like weight they hold. Obviously, like this truss here is completely different from like this one. Track homes. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So if you don't want to talk more about it, any special types of there. Noah, wait a minute. We're doing the members first. Members get seniority in the chat for telling us what they do. 20 grip. I draw layouts from house plans and export them, the trusses from my layout to the engineering program. That's pretty cool. I think that's a cool thing to do, like designing this part of things from the house. It's pretty sweet. So moving from there, I feel like we got a good understanding of that. Let's talk about the 20 grip being a local delivery driver. Who do you drive for? What are you delivering? Any more thoughts? except when I go to Lowe's, always park in the pro parking. That's funny. 20 grip. What are you delivering? You driving a big truck? Driving a big yeet? We'll get rid of this. This is what comes up when you type in delivery driver. Obviously, that's not. Definitely. This looks a little more professional. 20 grip. You got to start doing POV BMX deliveries. How sick would that be? Just deliver files and boxes to clients from LA to San Diego. See, that would be pretty cool because you're kind of, I bet you're like by yourself. You're kind of just like chilling out and whatever you're using to deliver. Please be auto parts. That's a weird dream job of mine. Dude, there's like 4 auto parts stores just in my area that deliver to my dad who owns a transmission shop. No, I feel like you could do that pretty easily. Chill, just listen to podcasts. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like a to yourself type job, which is cool. Kier's job, what he does for a living, is pretty sick. So if you guys watched the video yesterday with Huck, it's Kier is Huck's dad. He says he's a professional dad to a 6-year-old and 10-year-old. So Kier and Huck are probably watching right now. Shout out to Kier and Huck. I like the guy with the cardboard box under his arm. I love that these pictures are just stock photos that are taken with people who are guaranteed not delivery drivers. Like, this guy might be the most likely to actually be the delivery driver. Well, this guy might be legit too. I bet I could design some ramp frames. Oh, I guarantee you could. So, moving from here, because professional dad, let's just see what comes up. Here we go. I'm not retired. I'm a professional dad. Huck is honestly my hero. Huck is a little badass. The kid is rad. The kid is super rad. Huck with dad mode. This guy's a professional dad. This guy's a professional outdoor dad. Look at that. All right. Is this one more accurate? This guy, he's really professional dad. All right, so moving on from here, I guess we can just let everybody loose. What's everybody do for a living? Did lawn care, but the dude just disappeared. So he put in a resume for a gunsmith position. That's pretty tight. That is definitely something that you can, like, make some serious money at. I know a guy who used to do that. Actually, I know a couple guys who used to do that. Media arts and animation degree and stick welder. In truth, I'm an industrial artist. Dennis McNabb. That's pretty sick, though. Like, it's just a cool thought. So what was the last thing? Well, everybody can put their thing in, and I'll just scroll back up and go back to them, and we'll go through them in the order they pop up. So what's the last thing you worked on? Can we find some of your work on Google? Industrial artist. That's what Derek Nelson does. Industrial artist. Is this the kind of thing that you do? Do you do sculpture? Dennis, that's so sweet. Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. I'm trying to find, oh wait, I could just go back up to that first one and click on more of these. Yo, Andy Hewitt, becoming a member. Thank you. Thank you. And if you just joined today, send me a message on Instagram and I'll send you the Discord link. The Discord can only be as active as you guys make it, because it's just open on my phone all the time, and whenever somebody goes into the Discord, I reply and everything. Dennis, where are you at? What's the last thing you did? Can we find it on Google? Is this considered industrial artist? Oh, Andy gets seniority now. I'm a professional bum. I don't want to type that one in. Boom. Kier's already using the emojis. Not a problem. Glad to be a part of something bigger than me. Hey, I appreciate it, man, because the truth is that all of you guys being members. Oh, I meant people send me a message on Instagram who joined the membership, like Andy, and I'll text it to you, Kier. But what was I gonna say? The truth about the membership stuff is that every single bit of it goes into just helping me make more videos and continue what I'm doing. Sorry, you won't find my work on social media. Well, maybe just tell us like what types of things that you do. What up, Jeff Mead? Got hurt and set for life. Wow. That's pretty wild. Are you like okay? Is it the kind of thing where you're like psyched that it happened and you're good now forever, or is it a bummer? I don't want to, Chuck's in here. Heavy Pedals has entered the chat. So, I've never been published, says Dennis. So I've got to move back up here. Let's keep going. Dennis Hornbeck is a back-end programmer. So what does that mean? I feel like we could get a guess here what a back-end programmer is, but give us a little bit of a explanation, maybe. Well, broke my neck in coma for 3 days. Holy cow. That's insane. The skills you need to be a back-end developer. Hear this, guys? You're going to learn how to be back-end developers. Proficient knowledge of the back-end programming language / framework that the given company relies on. Interesting. It happened when I was young. So, like, are you good now? Is everything good now? You just living your best life, I hope? Knowledge of accessibility and security compliance. Understanding of front end. So get this, guys. To be professionals with the back end, you also got to have an understanding of the front end. Let's see. Ability to manage a hosting environment, including database administration, as well as scaling applications to handle load changes. Experience with versions control such as Git. I write everything that you don't see. Wow, so you're one of those people who just understands the crazy code languages that only people like you understand. That is interesting. I hope I can keep track of all these things in the chat. Kevin Jackson is a title examiner. Let's see what types in or comes up whenever we. Bunch of stock photos. This guy is examining the titles. I can do front end, just not make it pretty. Understandable. That's pretty sick. Kevin Jackson examines titles, which is another interesting one. See, it's so cool how like diverse the people in here are. It's pretty sick. So, moving on from there, Polling BMX recovers pool tables. And he put in everything here so that we don't have to ask a bunch of questions. We'll just bust out Google search. I was hoping we'd see, oh, there we go. I'm assuming that something like this is what we're talking about here. A title examiner is a legal support professional who assists lawyers with reviewing titles and examining public records to determine the legal status of the title. They work in real estate, legal, and insurance industries where they research the legal status of properties to determine if they can be sold. It was in a car accident 4 years ago, broke my back and had to learn to walk again. I'm 40 now. I'm in the best shape since accident. That's why I'm trying to ride one more time. Man, I'm stoked to hear that you're like, okay. And you said you're set for life. That's tight. I'm flying to Woodward, JDA. 2 weeks going to Woodward with Huck and Kier in the chat. This is pretty sweet. Recovering pool tables just sounds like an interesting thing to do. Moving on from here, let's go down. Michael Webb was a carpenter until he became ill. I hope that you get better, Michael. That's kind of a bummer. Let's see. Bon Big Boy was a pipe fitter, now a professional dad, not a father. Professional dad sounds way sicker than father. Jeff Mead, what do you do? We're just talking about what everybody does for a living because I think it'd be a cool conversation. Let's see. Pipe fitter, now professional dad. So what does a pipe fitter look like? Ah, interesting. That's pretty wild and diverse in what's going on there as well. Let's see. Whoa, I can't wait to get to EAs. That is tight. Let's move on from here. Eric Stahl has probably the wildest one yet. Quality Assurance Inspector at NASA. What comes up whenever we type that in? Quality Assurance Inspector NASA. Does anything come up? I feel like that's there's not very many people who do that. Yeah, no, nothing comes up for that. That's a pretty crazy gig you got there. Eric, talk about the kinds of things that you do as a quality assurance inspector at NASA, because that's sick. Kevlar says he's the father of 2 amazing kiddos. Fleet maintenance for a veteran-owned delivery company, semi-retired from the Navy, and about to go back to school. Dude, you've done a lot. That's sweet. That's really sweet. I was a layer 1 guy fresh out of college for a company called 0 Day in St. Louis. What does that even mean? Whoa. Kevlar, you got a cool gig there. Fleet maintenance for a veteran-owned delivery company. So you're working on the trucks and making sure everything's good to go whenever they got problems. E-work. I don't know what that means, Noah. I saw you said something about carpenter. Oh, I missed Chuck. I'm sorry, Chuck. Chuck, he says he's a professional wrestler, wrestling with heavy pedals. Chuck runs heavy pedals. I'm not positive what he does currently. That's the point of this stream. Yo, I heard if I tell people to like the stream, more people come in, which is pretty sick. That it's what Ewoks do, or maybe just a typo. That was in response to the back end guy. What do you do now? No, I saw you see something about Carpenter. Oh, and Kevlar made some bomb chili for dinner. Cannot forget that. So, moving from there, new place, new people. Okay, we got Eric Stahl in the chat, and then we'll jump back up to EA. EA, I don't know your actual name, but talk more about what you do in the chat because you're next, and we'll get to you right after this. So Eric is the quality assurance inspector at NASA, and he says he inspects builds of new hardware, particulate sample reading for cleanliness issues, observed man testing in vacuum chambers, solder inspections, cable harness inspections. That is pretty cool. Dude, you're like right there, which is super rad. I think that's just like an awesome thing to be doing. It's an interesting particulate sample reading for cleanliness issues. I feel like I've heard that like you have to be very, very particular about type particular. Basically that. Working for charity and opening a bike shop that refurbishes bikes and gives them to people who need them in Detroit. That is what Chuck from Heavy Pedals does, which that's super awesome. What up, Cecil Parker? We're just talking about what we do for a living. Everybody who's in here. I already did mine first, so that's at the very beginning if anyone missed it. Laid off locomotive mechanic, though. I feel like I've heard that part. I met you because of Zach Orovitz, who also works on the railroad or worked on the railroad. I'm not sure currently. Let's see. EA says he's a cancer scientist. I don't know if he's still in here or not, but I want to hear more about that. Has NASA come across aliens? I feel like he wouldn't be able to tell us that in the chat. Kevin Zuba. True, especially where high pressure oxygen is concerned. I feel like everything to do with space has to be extremely, like, specific and, like, carefully done. That's just the vibe I get from space. You gotta be very careful and precise. Kevin Zuba says he's in the 3X Dad Club, 3 times Dad Club. And with these other guys, he used to work for Mattel, but now he's helping to get Lifetime concrete coatings to grow. Everything from estimates to customer service to installs. Total crazy, like, turn there. Ooh, EA, the cancer scientist. He says, so I make diagnoses on women's cancers, breast cancer, cervical cancer, and ovarian cancer. I use a microscope of DNA I use a microscope and DNA instruments to get patients correct diagnosis so they can get the right treatment. That is pretty sweet, and I bet you feel good doing that. You have to. Why is my camera frozen? What the heck's going on here? We lost my camera feed, and I don't know why. But you can still hear me. Let's see what the problem with this is. Hopefully this fixes it. I don't know what happened. You guys can still hear me though, correct? I don't really understand what happened. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. You can pretend like you can see me. Frozen in time. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to refresh this real quick. Just don't go anywhere. I'm still here. NASA, get on it. The men in black would have blinked me. All right, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Hopefully this is still here. Hopefully the stream didn't end and we're still here and everything's good. So anyways, I bet that feels good to be a cancer scientist and helping people like that. Let's see. I found you looking for BMX beginner tips, and you were very helpful. I ride a 26 foot. EA rides a 26-foot Haro and is having a blast. Back to BMX riding again since 2001. Sick, man. They got him once he started talking about aliens. You know, that's true. It froze me. Moving back up, we got a couple more people here. Cecil Parker says, I'm handicapped, but I volunteer on YouTube running FBMX station. Interesting. Glad to hear that you got something going on, man. Let's see. Frozen Brand is my screensaver now. Damn it. Anyone else in here who hasn't said what they do for a living that it wants to? While we have this lull here, I want to say thank you and shout out the new members and the current members who are in the chat. Andy Hewitt, new member tonight. Kier Kurinsky and Huck from yesterday's video, new members tonight. JDA, recent member this week. 20 Grip is in the chat. He's been a member for 10 months. Wild. Potato. I know, man. It's my potato camera here, being a potato camera. And I do BMX. Rad. Thanks, Kevin. I try my best. I like to see patients get healthy again. Absolutely, man. That is super rad. I bet that feels good. Time flies. Time does fly. Time absolutely flies. It's already been a half hour. That's how fast time's flying. Anybody else while we're in here? We'll have to do another one. Do we have anybody from Sundance in here? I need to talk to them. Maybe I could tap into my school connections with the college I went to and get you in on some Sundance. Noah, I thought you actually did video stuff for a living. I really did. That kid killed it yesterday. He seemed so natural, and the determination to get that fakie was awesome. Dude, yeah. And when he's like, literally, he's like, I'm going to jump the hip. I'm like, whoa, this young kid's about to jump the hip? And then he jumps it. I'm like, dang. And then he's like, all right, now I want to no footer the hip. I'm going to do a no footer. And I'm like, where? Where are you going to do a no footer at? The hip. And I'm like, okay, go for it. Because that was wild. And then he did it. And I'm like, I don't even want to no footer the hip very often. And he did it. And then, wait till you guys see the video from Cornugget. He sent it and it was awesome. He jumped that semi thing. If you guys have ever seen the semi drop in, how they have like the whatever. Yes, Dennis McNabb, I do have on flip-flops in this photo. They have the landing, the top, and then there's a angle, to make it so you could just like roll in if you wanted to. He at one point gapped all the way to the landing of it. It's like a literal roof drop. And he did it on a 14-inch bike, and it was crazy. Yo, we got 24 people in here. Made a 36-second slideshow, some pool tables I've done. I could DM it to you. That's pretty cool, man. I want to get back to anyone who hasn't in the chat yet, though. We got new people who just jumped in here. Basically, tonight we're talking about what everybody does for a living. And I just kind of want to, feature you guys and talk about what you do on a daily basis. He sent it large at Corn Hucket. He Corn Hucked it. His name is Huck. I hope he's watching right now. It's just super stoked that everybody's excited about his riding because it's awesome. It gives you hope for the next generation, and that's what's important. We almost spilt the giant. Real men wear Crocs. I don't have any Crocs. Ricky. Where's Ricky? I don't see a Ricky. Maybe the chat hasn't come up yet. You doing a bunny hop or was you jumping? Yeah, I was just bunny hopping on flat ground. The point was, actually I can just turn off my camera for a second. The point was to just have a really cool picture with this willow and this building in the background. Willow, building in the background. Just meant to be a cool picture. I agree, Huck is awesome. No doubt about that. Huck is definitely a wild kid, and it's cool to see. So anybody who's new in the chat and you haven't left what you do in the chat, leave it in the chat. Also, I heard if you like the stream, more people end up in here, and we can just talk more about what people do. I work for BMX, and I love BMX, and I try my hardest to make BMX great. Absolutely, Ricky. Ricky, if you're I remember seeing it before, great composition. Yeah, my buddy who's a photographer, works at a photography store. He wanted to shoot that picture, so we did. Ricky, if you want to jump on Skype and chat, we can do that if you feel like it. If you can. I don't have it open currently, but I can at any moment in time. Just let me know. I agree. Huck is awesome. That shot of you is pretty rad. Thanks, man. I'm stoked on it. That's why it's still my background here. All dead leaves in the foreground. It's even better when you blow it up because you can see more. Lethargy says, I do IT work for a company that owns and manages amusement parks. That's pretty wild. So you're like making sure things are working the way they're supposed to with the network and stuff. The RD flip-flops get me. Yep. These aren't Ride Concept flip-flops. These are from before the Ride Concepts days. But yeah. I do IT work for a company that owns and manages amusement parks. Talk more about that in the chat. And for anyone, because more people are coming in right now, for anyone who hasn't yet left what they do for a living in the chat, send it. That's what we're talking about tonight. Is this the job description night? Yeah, Jeff. Tell us what you do. I feel like I don't fully know anymore since you changed jobs. Even better. Yeah, the flip-flops in this picture were from like right before Ride Concepts, and they are clapped. Ricky, how much do you get paid per pull-up bar? If he wants to jump in on Skype and tell us, I am down for that. I'll get it open. Ricky, just call me if you feel like talking. I got it open now. Oh, son of a biscuit. What is happening here? Oh, it happened. I feel like I don't. Oh, and you're here.
What?
You're here. Just
I
mute
can't
me.
see shit.
What
What do I do?
Just turn your volume down.
How do I do that?
Oh,
That.
you good? I'm just getting you on the screen here. Oh, there you went. There you are. Boom. We got Ricky in here. Ooh, okay. So we got a couple more people saying what they do for a living in the chat, and then we can get to chit chat.
I don't see shit. I can't see you. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, you can't see me?
No, I have no clue. It's like I'm
Okay, here, I got you.
I'm talking to a person that's nowhere. Whoa, what the hell's that?
There, you should be able to see me now.
Hell yeah.
So, moving from here, let's see. I test and quality check and update electric bikes for a European company in America. That's sick.
You're talking about Jeff?
Yeah.
I'd like to publicly announce that if Jeff didn't have that job, Jeff would be at the most amazing job he's ever worked in his whole fucking life, but he would get tired of hearing the guy that talks a lot talk. If that gives you an idea of what
Oh,
I was trying to do.
you're saying Jeff would be working at Merit.
Yes.
Man, I can't believe he wouldn't want to do that.
I know he had the choice, but he's a fucking loser. So that's how losers are.
Travis Schroeder does lawn care and snow removal, and he rides BMX and races at his local speedway. Is that like dirt track racing? I'm bummed I passed on that, Ricky. Sounds like you could still do it.
Opened up a bad sore or what?
I don't know. Hopefully the echo's done. I'm not sure what the echo's from.
Cotana.
I run a 6-cylinder front wheel drive. Fletcher's hat. Fletcher's hat. Moto or Jerry from PA works for Mars Chocolate making M&Ms. Yo, can you send me some M&Ms? I'm totally like, I don't mean to ask, but I kind of want to ask because that's sick. DFLJ, what do you do? I feel like you told us on whatever day that was, but let us know. Quarter-mile asphalt. Oh, so you're drag racing or circle track racing? Thank you for your service, Jerry. Where's Jerry? That's a funny one. I thought you were saying Jerry like work for the military or is in the military. Got you, man. No way. I will open it on the channel. Ricky's a witch. He rides modern brooms. Help Brant get an M&M sponsorship. I try to stay away from sugar, but I would totally be down for an M&M sponsorship. Moving from there, who else said something? Moto B works in a print shop doing design work. That's pretty cool
another
too.
bike shop hat, but I could only find this one. All day BMX, baby.
Yeet, yeet, circle track. That's pretty sweet. Have you ever won the feature, Travis? I have. I don't know if you've ever heard of Wayne County Speedway. It's a dirt track here in Ohio, but I live literally 5 minutes from it. I'm laid off because I broke my tailbone. BMX for life. Before that, I worked for ExploreNet Canada Wireless Internet. Interesting. Do you install people's cable boxes and cable and all that stuff? Friends with a Deco and SC Shoes sponsored rider that's a rigger for Yellowfin boats. You're talking about Ryan Torrance. Yo, Jerry from PA, send me a message about the M&Ms because I will take you up on that.
That's a crazy sponsor. Oh, I just spit all over myself.
That would be a wild one. I just like the normal ones too. I'm not even picky or extravagant.
Hey, so what is this episode about?
I'm just chatting with everybody about.
It's not about bitching and complaining about BMX.
No.
God damn it! I'm on the wrong channel.
See ya. Have a good night, Ricky. Not yet. Got a second and a third, but no win yet. Well, if you're getting second and third, you're clearly good enough to get the win. That's rad. What was I gonna say? Damn it, Zach Reiser or Z Reiser. I'm assuming it's Zach. That's just a guess. I hope that's right. What do you do for a living, Zach? Z. My bad. But yeah, we're just talking about what we do. We all know Ricky works at the premier New Jersey, New York's area BMX company and a fresh new distributor.
I am drinking a Trenta strawberry acai with a dash of lemonade, boys.
While we're waiting on a couple people to say what they do since they're jumping in here, first, I heard that liking the stream makes more people come in here, and every time I say that, we get like 10 more people in here, so I feel
How
like
do you like
see,
it?
look,
Oh,
yo, Jay Parrish. I met Jay Parrish at Cornhucket.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a rad dude. See, I said it and more people came in. It's crazy. Jay Parrish, we're just all saying what we do for a living, chatting with each other. Ricky, while we're waiting on those,
yeah,
can you give us an update on 15? Just how stuff's going.
we are growing and accelerating at a rate where even bike shops can't keep up. So every single time that I talk to a bike shop, they can't believe that we got another company. So we recently just picked up Lino Gonzalez's company,
Yeah.
which is 90 East, on top of having Scapegoat. So we have the hardcore of the hardcore BMX companies that we're supporting, on top of, you know, Merit, Theory.
Well, and I think the cool
Stuff.
thing about that is that a company like Scapegoat, you wouldn't usually like, or I would never have thought that they would like go through a distributor. You know, feel like they'd be independent, like kind of like T1,
Well,
which makes it cool.
I mean, to make it be great, I mean, to be honest with you, Sean helps out a lot of people with their companies and designing certain things.
Yeah.
So it only makes sense to work with certain people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. I got a Scapegoat shirt on today. What the hell?
Look at that.
Hit your local bike shop. These are the new shirts. Yeah, I would say it's going amazing, but it's really hard work. It's not like working at a regular job. Like, I just got off the phone talking to a bike shop for an hour, and I was on another bike shop call. I talk BMX so much I should hate it. But for some reason, like, I lose my voice every night, and then I wake up and then have to lose it again. Which is scary because I keep thinking I got corona. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm dying, but it's because my throat hurts. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's funny. There's been a. How long did you watch before I called you?
I honestly, I was listening to a religious person and an atheist talk about if somebody exists or not.
Oh, okay.
And I was
well, there was a
listening to
lot
that,
of
and then I
really.
clicked to you.
There was a lot of really really cool things that people do that are in the chat. Like Eric Stahl is a quality assurance inspector for NASA. We have a cancer scientist in here. What else was there? There's so many cool ones. That was just like,
Well, that's
whoa.
what's so great. The more you network, you don't realize like what kind of help. Like, I've met multiple people that are chiropractors,
Yeah.
and they ride bikes. Like, they're the greatest people. DFLJ, I do not sell to shops individually in Canada. I sell to the main distributor, which is OGC. So if I would recommend the number one store in Canada up in the Toronto area where you are, is to hit up Harvester. Harvester carries pretty much everything that we sell. And to be honest with you, I feel like he's the premier bike shop up in Canada. What he does is amazing. Like, I don't. Do you follow Harvester BMX?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. The guy's amazing for BMX, definitely.
Yep. Jay Parrish, who I met at Corn Hucket this weekend, rad dude. He says I drive a roll-off truck, delivering and emptying the big open-top dumpsters you see at construction sites and other places. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's pretty cool.
So that means he makes a lot of money.
Basically, I make a lot of money. Mike Fuentes is a lunchman at an elementary school, holidays and weekends and summers off. See, I feel like the lunchman is like the job you'd want at a school because all the kids are stoked about you being the lunchman. You don't have to prepare any like lesson plans. You don't have to grade tests or homework or anything. You just go, do your job, then go home, get a summer vacation.
I did crosswalking at like schools, and you only work for 30 minutes, and they pay you for 4 hours in the morning, and then you work 30 minutes at the end of school, and they give you 4 hours for that. So you can get a full day, and you only work 1 hour. The pay isn't the greatest, but I mean, you are saving kids' lives by allowing them to walk across the street.
Oh, you're
you know what I mean? A crosswalker guy. The guy that holds the sign.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, so you work a half an hour in the morning and they give you 4 hours, and then when you work at, you come back when school's out, and they give you another 4 hours for a half an hour's work.
Jeez, so you
Which
just
is
have
great.
the whole day, and then you just gotta be there in the morning, and then at the end.
Yeah, and then you never have to yell at kids for not crossing the street. It's always the parents. The parents are the dumbest people in the world, I swear.
Well,
Kids would obey the law, and parents would just be running in the middle of the street. It's hilarious.
that's funny. That's a pretty sweet one. If there's anybody in the chat who hasn't said what they want to do, or not what they want to do, what they do for a living, and feels like it, leave it in the chat. I just think it's cool. Been talking for almost an hour just about what people who watch this YouTube channel do for a living. That's rad.
Kevin just said Montana Ricky for the children. Kevin's got like 15 kids.
He's got 3 kids.
Same thing. Times that by 5, it's 15. By the way, Kevin is an amazing rider and so great for the northern New York area.
Yeah.
Like, literally is. He's
He
very
does a lot.
inspirational, and his bike slides are always amazing. I remember when I first started getting on Instagram and meeting him on there, and he's like, "Oh, I do those too." And then it was like a race to keep doing more variations with it.
Yeah.
By the way, today I posted Derek Nelson.
Yep.
Which, if anybody in the chat doesn't know who Derek Nelson is,
I mentioned him earlier.
He is by God, and when I say by God, he is the opposite of Tate, but he's like Tate, except for instead of using a basketball, he still rides the basketball. Tate will throw the basketball in a hoop. He will ride the basketball somehow and make it crazy. But I don't even know where I was going other than the fact that I want to shout out Derek Nelson because he's a fucking godly, great bike rider. And I feel like if his back isn't broken having a 50-pound bike, why am I bitching about my 20-pound bike?
Yeah. Well, he's riding a normal bike right now.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not. I just rode with him a few weeks ago.
How was it?
Awesome. He was at the Pittsburgh Street Jam, and then after the fact, we went and rode this dude's backyard ramp, and it was just cool. Like that is the closest I've ever been to starstruck in my life.
Derek Nelson?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, it's actually you. This is awesome.
It's great when you meet people like that. Like, I think that's what makes BMX so great. With Instagram, where you know everybody by their Instagram tag, and then when you get to meet them in real life, they're like, "Hey, I'm John. I follow you on Instagram," and I'm always like, "Oh, that's cool, man. That's dope." And then I'm like, "What tricks do you do?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, I know people by the tricks they do and their Instagram handle.
Yeah.
I don't know your real name. It's always Instagram handle.
Dude, speaking of meeting people from the internet, Jay Parrish came up to me at Cornhucket, and he fist bumped me. He's like, "You know who I am?" And I sat for a second, and I was like, "Jay Parrish."
No way.
Yeah, ask him. He's in here right now. Ask him. That's what happened. And I got it right. But riding with Derek Nelson was cool because like you didn't know what he was gonna do, and the highlight of it was he told me to do something, and I did it, and it was like a thing that I filmed, and I'm gonna use it in an edit. But he's like, whenever we were going to leave or whatever, he's like, "You did the trick I called out for you." And he's like, "That doesn't happen with most people." I was like, hell yeah.
Dennis, I might have them. Either way, just tell them to contact me, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Derek is super rad. His thought process is wild, very in the moment, was stoked to ride with him. So that was the coolest thing, because like we were at the street jam, but you could tell that he was just like doing his own thing and trying to figure stuff out. And I honestly, my comparison for him and anyone that I've ridden with before is like Hamilton, in the way that he's like you can see how he's like just trying to constantly think of how to use whatever you're at when you're out riding. It was cool.
Somebody asked a question that seems negative, but I can be very honest with you. Within the last 5 years, because of the internet, I've met a lot of kids that will copy what the meme pages made and call me that or treat me in that way if they don't like me. And during that Monster Energy drink thing in New York City, one of these up and coming pro kids kept calling me a faggot. And
Jeez.
everywhere we went, he's just like, "You're a fag, you're a fag," like the whole time.
Somebody
And then
played
he
Call of
pushed,
Duty as a kid.
and then he like put his phone in my face and just kept saying it. And then
People are
I just
stupid.
ignored it, and I couldn't handle it. But I knew what it was gonna exactly happen to that kid, and that kid was getting sponsored by multiple brands. And guess what? 5 years later, that kid is no longer sponsored, and nobody supports him anymore. So it goes to show, if you're a jerk to people, it eventually catches up to you. And yes,
Absolutely.
I could come off on online like as a jerk or a dickhead, but if you get to meet me in real life, I'm Ricky Lopez.
You're just a
Like,
totally normal person.
yes, I'm very animated and I'm passionate, but at the same time, I am a person.
Yep.
So a majority of people I do meet are like, "Oh shit, that ain't." I'm like, it isn't like a, how do I say this? It's a character, but at the same time, it is
The
me.
character is just an exaggeration of who you are.
Yeah, definitely. Catfish isn't exactly the same way you think he is when you meet him in real life. He's There's some very inspirational stories that dude will give you.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The question was, what's the worst meeting you and Ricky have had in meeting someone from the internet?
Say something. You don't have to say the name, but an
Well,
uncomfortable.
I have
Like,
to think about it because I'm the kind of person that just forgets those types of things
okay, how about
completely.
this one? You are the type of person that goes around and you bring your wife.
Uh huh.
Just gonna, have you ever had any interaction where somebody was rude or a total jerk? Because that's one thing that I would find. Like, if someone was a jerk to my girlfriend or my woman, and I brought her around, have you had any incidents where that happened?
No, for the
Or
most, I mean,
somebody?
everybody's pretty cool and respectful enough. Like, people are respectful enough to not be like that way at all. I mean, I honestly can't think of a situation or.
Okay, how about this one? How about guys that you know and you've talked to them in the DMs and stuff, and then when you meet them in real life and they snub nose you and they totally ignore you? How many times has that happened?
I honestly, I like block this stuff out. So if it's happened, I just don't remember it. I'm sure that it has at least once. I guarantee there's some pro that I met that I was like, oh yeah, that guy sucks. But I would call him out too. I don't care. I would say it publicly. Like, I just genuinely am not the kind of person to hold on to those things. So I just forget completely. And then, like, if I ask this question to Victoria right now, she'd be able to tell me because I don't even remember.
And that's what's so great about you. I think that's the hardest part about BMX is when you're excited about a person or something to do with their BMX and they feel completely different than you. Like, for instance, like uh, when I was in North Dakota recently, when we were traveling from Montana to North Dakota, and we just saw random riders, like, the reception that we got from that was more of an ignorance than it was like hey, you know what I mean? But they knew who we were, but they were like cold shouldering. And this was at like a random skate park when we were on that trip
Yeah.
for the Barrett trip one. And sometimes those ones are the toughest. We're like, I'm like, hi, how are you? And then they just totally ignore you. You've been to skate parks where it kind of goes like that.
Mainly, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just too fucking nice. Like, I'll get stoked for people before I ever say hi to them. And then they like, I don't know. Jay Parrish said he was responding to me how I said his name first. He said that was pretty trippy. First guess, the wife even thought so. I'm thinking the OFG shirt might have been a little clue. I didn't even know what shirt you were wearing. I just saw your face and just instantly that's where my brain went. It was weird.
I love it, dude. That's good. And I always, and I have to be honest, I always feel bad, like if I can't remember the person, but I answer almost every single DM I get unless I'm busy. And then if I get too far back, I won't answer it, if that makes sense. And I know you get that too, Brant, where
Yeah,
it, sometimes you'll get overloaded, but I always try to tell the person to give me a clue if I can't think of it right away.
yeah. Just watch the video of the guy telling Brant how to set up his brakes. You'll know Brant just doesn't let the negative. Oh, you're talking about the video from uh Florida. That guy was just funny. Um the reality is you're not going to like everyone you meet, whether it's through BMX or life. That's absolutely the truth. And when you learn that, just it is what it is. The guy that was telling me how to set up my brakes was the funniest thing ever. So I don't know if this dude was homeless or what. Like he didn't seem homeless at all. He just seemed like a normal dude who was hanging out by the skate park. But we're in Tampa, Florida, so like I don't know. But he's like telling me I need to get hydraulic brakes for what I was trying, which like he's totally hit the nail on the head. Like hydraulic brakes would work better for what I'm doing, but it doesn't work on a BMX bike. But he's like explaining whatever behind hydraulic brakes, and he made this comment. He's like, "But what would I know?" And then he said something like, "I only like invented the whole thing 30 years ago or something like that." I was like, I didn't realize what he was saying until he was gone, but like the dude knew his stuff, and it was pretty wild. You should play
Yeah.
that clip right now. Duh. What am I doing? Thank you.
I mean, look at the guy that started SE Bikes. He was homeless for a while.
Yeah?
Anybody can become, in that situation.
Yeah.
Fuck. 9:32. I, I love all you guys. I just wanted to come on here and say hi. Let's chat soon. I have multiple people that want to come on because I've gotten a lot of people that have suggested something when we get into talks or debates that instead of it just being one-sided, even though me and you are very neutral, I feel like I'm opinionated, that's obvious. But it would be good to have somebody else with a different personality but has an industry driven past or works in a bike shop. So I have multiple people that are willing to come on that work at really big name bike shops that can come in and answer things and offer things and stuff like that. And so I think it'd be great because the complaints that I always get is like obviously it, they're like, is Brant being facetious or is he really that neutral? And I'm like, I'm being honest with you. He is the perfect person for this situation because I'm so abrasive. I'm so aggressive with our conversations and animated that it just calms things down. But obviously you don't mind. I'm gonna try to get some big name dudes that own shops. I don't think that they want to show face, but they'll come on Skype and just do voice. But I think it would be great to get some topics and ask people about things and how things work for them and how the
Well,
industry
you
is in
just
their eyes.
you organize it and we'll make it happen.
And then also the other person that I wanted to bring on, he just started working and it's been really hard for him and life's kind of crazy. That one interview that I wanted to do. He's still interested. He's just his life's in a different place because of the situation. So I'll talk to you about that. Either way, guys, appreciate all you guys. Thanks for everything. All the people that donated. Dennis Hornback, thanks for donating $672. 28 Grip, thanks for the $50. Kevin, thanks for the $4. Rollback Rob, thanks for the $676. Kevin Jackson, thank you for the $13.20. Love Machine, thanks for the 420. JDA, and thanks for the $1. I love all you guys. If you add that up and do the math, that's probably like It's like $1,800 we made tonight, so I'm gonna say that's the biggest pool we've ever done. All right, guys, love you. I'm out.
See ya. That was funny. All right, so here's what dude was talking about with the Florida thing. Let's hope we can hear it.
You can hear your brake going. It goes squeak, and then it chatters. You hear that chatter?
Yeah. There was more than that, and you can watch the session from this.
I'm the luck. Right? Thanks, man. Welcome to Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was it. It was funny. If you want to hear the whole thing, just type in Brantmore Bro Bowl or something along those lines, and it should pop up. Oops, wrong one. He is really going to go play WoW. You know it's true. You never know. He could be. Probably tweaking a little bit. I don't know, because he knew his stuff. He knew what he was talking about. That was the whole thing that made it, like, kind of believable and everything. Pretty funny, though. It was a scapegoat t-shirt, Kevin Jackson. But I think that was really fun. And it's been about an hour, so once again, I want to thank everybody for the support tonight. Andy Hewitt, JDA, 20 Grip, Kier, Karinsky, everybody and members in the chat, as well as just people for being here. Thank you for tuning in. This was fun. It was cool to like just communicate with everybody and just talk about what you guys do for a living and get to know people in the chat a little bit more and kind of just do this, because one day this might be a little more difficult to do. This time we could just literally talk to everybody, and it was fun. So on that note, thank you to everybody for supporting, being here, hanging out. I've worked on and built my own bike since I was a little kid. Dustin Reese adjusted my jacked up front brakes. Nice. That's awesome. But yeah, I also want to make sure I say don't ever feel obligated to do the membership or donate or do anything like that. Totally just for people who want to support outside of just being here. But I just appreciate that you guys are here. And obviously I majorly appreciate the people who are donating and becoming members and all that stuff. So on that note, we're going to get out of here. I've got BMX news at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll be live again 10 a.m. tomorrow for BMX news. We'll